MELEA TEJEDAS.
Spencer Tejedas, SPENCER, same as Tejedas over here.
Jack Pilarski, JACKPILARSKI.
I think just go ahead and start off, Spencer. The man of the hour, we want to hear from you. If you can tell us, one, how you're doing and how the recovery's been.
Yeah, doing a lot better since I got home. This is day 6. I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you it's been hard, frustrating, you know, finding out things I can and can't do, but rewarding, you know. I get to be with my kids every day, and my recovery is going well. Healing up really, really good from what the doctors have said. Little to no dressing changes left, just these sleeves. Keep compression, but that'll be probably for the next year or so. So. Yeah, well, yeah, you know, being sedated for 2.5 months, that was the biggest surprise. You know, I remember the ambulance ride and everything to the point of, you know, sedation, and then waking up in an ICU bed. So, you know, I couldn't miss them, right, when I was under, but to realize how much time had passed, you know, that was eye-opening. And I only have pictures and videos to show what I went through under ECMO and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Can you take us back to May 30th?
Yeah. You know, normal day here at the station. Probably was a beautiful day. Business as usual, running calls, busy. Eat dinner, kick back in the recliners, and I think I was playing chess on my phone. I think we were playing a game against each other, actually. And we get the dispatch for residential fire, and automatically we know it's in our area, 181, and we are minutes, and we're going to be the first ones there. And we're going to be the first ones there for a while until we have, you know, any engine behind us. So, yeah. I don't know if you want me to dive into the fire or...
If you can, yeah.
Okay, sure. We arrived in the dispatch. I believe there was... the dispatch came in that there was a potential for a victim. And that just kind of sets everybody in a different mindset going into it. You know, we want to get there first. We want to get there the fastest. We want to make a difference. We want to save somebody. We pull up, and it's a residential fire, and there's smoke showing, there's fire showing on the back side of the house. And we've been on a lot of these fires. Didn't look like anything unusual that we've ever seen. I was sitting behind the officer's seat on the right side of the engine, and I stepped outside of the engine with all of my gear in preparation to make entry of the house. And there's just lots of people, lots of commotion, and one individual crying that her baby was inside. And my memory's a little, you know, fuzzy right there. I just remember in my brain, it just kind of kicked into another gear, and I knew we were going to go into rescue mode. And I donned all my PPE, made entry by myself. The engine ended up pulling up where you could see through the front door. And with my experience and with my officer's experience, Chad Fryer, we just have that relationship of just inherent trust. And he could see me the whole time, so I made entry and looked down a hallway.
Close the door.
Yeah, for that. No, no problem. I'd rather not have the lights. Can we open that bay door again? No, I'm talking about the. Feels like no. I'm just joking.
Oh, that was a joke. It was a joke.
All right.
Before you start, give you a bottle of water.
No, I'm okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I made entry. Smoke was about neck high. Low heat, going low. Check down the hallway. You know, she said baby, so you expect a crib, but I said this before, if I was caught in a fire, I think my mom would also say baby until, you know, I was 90 years old. So could have been anybody in any age. So I was just looking for doorways to see if anybody had made it to the hallway and then collapsed for whatever reason, from smoke inhalation or just the heat. Didn't see anybody, no hands, no nothing, but could see fire slowly coming out of a bathroom. So I ran back out, and by that time, back seat with me was Jack Pilarski, and he had all of his equipment on. We kind of just looked at each other, and again, with that inherent trust, we've trained on this before, and we're confident that we can make a difference if we go in there now. We made entry, and I think I took one last look at Chad, and it was like, you have to trust me on this decision I'm about to make. We could have waited for a hose line, but I felt like the risk we were about to take and the reward of potentially saving somebody outweighed us waiting around for a hose line. And there's many of other firefighters coming in that can take care of that. So me and Jack make entry. We go right down a hallway. I wanted to stay oriented, so I stayed on the right wall and sent him into the first bedroom and told him to search that room, keeping an eye on the fire and also at Jack. About a quarter of the way through, I made my way down the hallway to see if there was any other bedrooms, or I think there was a master and another bedroom that I could just really quick peek. Again, still fire just slowly licking the ceiling. You know, smoke still at the same level. Make my way back. Now I'm still in contact with Jack and fire, and all of a sudden, like this unsettling feeling in my stomach, and just the heat overall else just overcame me, and on the back of my neck, I just knew it was bad. And so I'm yelling at Jack, and some explicit words were used, but I said, we have to get out of here right now. And the last thing I remember is him coming towards me, and then just fire. And you know, got away from the wall, and that's where my battle began. And yeah, felt like forever. And
what was the reunion like between you two when you finally saw each other again?
Finally saw each other again. I think I was woken up so many times in the month of July, sedation down, up, down, that I think my subconscious knew we had already had like a meeting. Because I wasn't surprised to see her. I think I remember maybe like saying I missed her birthday or something like that, because I didn't know what day it was. But my memory then, and when I finally came to, it's kind of it's fuzzy. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to keep it going with the fire.
Do you remember?
Yeah, well, he was, I think all the nurses and doctors prepared me for the fact that he wasn't just going to wake up. Coming out of so much sedation, like he was on all the meds, it wasn't like one day he's off and he's awake. And so it was gradual. And there were a lot of moments where his eyes were open, he was talking to us, or not talking because he was on a trach, but he was interacting with us, engaging, and he doesn't remember any of that. And so there wasn't one moment where we were like, hey, it's me, hey, it's you. It was just gradual over time. But for so long he had a trach, so he wasn't able to talk, and he would mouth things, and that was a really hard period of time. So it wasn't like a happy reunion like you might picture. Like he wakes up and he's like, there's my wife and there are my kids. It was hard, you know, because it was gradual and over time, and there was so much he was still struggling with physically as he was waking up. And not, you know, we prepared for how do we talk to him about his hands when he wakes up, which is something that we didn't really have to do. He already kind of knew from what had happened in the ambulance. So there were a lot of things that we spent months preparing for, like what's this going to be like, what's this going to be like. And then nothing happened the way that we expected. It was just, it's hard and sad, but also, you know, happy as he kept progressing in the right direction. There were definitely moments where we thought we were going to lose him when he was in the hospital. So once he came out of the woods and he was waking up, there was a lot of bittersweet moments.
What was that reunion like with your kids? Do you remember seeing them for the first
I remember the first time I saw them. I was in the ICU at the burn center and not walking, not mobile, just kind of feeling down, and just the only thing I could get to do was go out in this little garden area and see the sun and get some fresh air, and then go back to the same hospital bed that I've been in and take the same meds every single night. But I was out in the garden, and we had planned for our kids to come and meet in the garden because they weren't allowed in the ICU for various reasons. And you know, they came running around the corner, and I couldn't believe my 4-year-old William. He just looked taller. He looked more like a kid and then a toddler. His voice sounded different. And the same thing with my 1-year-old, Charlie. Same thing, you know, he was running towards me and taller, and he's not quite talking yet, but sounded different. And they were, you know, just as excited to see me as I was them. And that was an unforgettable moment.
Jack, when the flashover happens, you're in that same area as he is. How far away from you or from him were you? And then what's your kind of role in all of this? I mean, is it a grab and go type thing?
So like Spencer mentioned, he was kind of orientated to our search and kind of directing me where we needed to go. And then like he mentioned, we both felt a pretty intense heat change, and he said we need to get out of here. I made it back into the hallway, and he was going down the hallway towards the exit of the front door that we came in. And that's when the flashover occurred. Everything just goes orange. You can't see anything. I was probably about 5 to 10 feet from him. Say again?
In front or in back?
Behind him.
Behind. Okay.
Yeah. Just got super fortunate that I had my hand on the wall and found the front door, and was able to make it out of the house.
At this point, was he out of the house as well, or did you have to go back in and get him?
We didn't realize that Spencer was still in the house when that happened because he was in front of me. When it flashed, I assumed he had made it out before me because we lost visual contact. And when I got out of the house, there were so many people down below us, you know, all wearing the same turnouts and face masks. It's hard to identify people. So I thought originally that he had made it out in front of me, and I didn't realize that he was still probably somewhere in the living room during the flashover.
Spencer, just can you take us through a little bit of, you mentioned how difficult this has been as a recovery process too, where every day it's such a battle.
Sure.
What that's like for you and really for all firefighters who are injured in the line of duty, and what keeps you going, what kept you going all those days?
My family, first and foremost, my kids and my wife, and just everybody who had sacrificed so much while I was in the hospital, including nurses, firefighters, neighbors. I felt like I owe it to them to recover and get to as close to my normal self as I can. And yeah, so that's kind of what keeps me going right now. Like you had said, the days are hard, but rewarding, and you know, I'll forever be in debt to the people at the burn center and that ECMO machine, and everybody at the neurotrauma center at the Emmanuel Hospital. But again, with everybody else, I just feel I owed it to them, and I'm again forever in their debt to succeed.
And just following up on that, small goals one at a time, kind of
Sure.
thing, right, day by day?
Yeah, I've already lived my life like that, one day at a time, and it's funny, like yin and yang. She's the planner, and I just kind of go along with it. So she actually gets annoyed at me for how in the moment I usually am, but it's now, you know, more than ever, it's important to live my life that way, and you know, celebrate advancements I do or make, and you know, don't dwell on some things that if I take a couple steps back, you know, I'm gonna get those steps right back. So
Does it feel good to be back in here?
yeah, so this is the first time I've actually been back to the station. It just feels right at home. A little cleaner than I last left it because we had station inspections. So, but it looks good, feels good, and everybody here looks great. So,
Spencer,
yeah.
your chief told me after this happened that you did what firefighters do when you went into that building. What does that mean to you now as you go throughout your recovery?
What does it mean to me now? You know, I think kind of depending on your path, you know, if you have a dad in the fire service or an uncle or brother, I feel like you grow up kind of knowing the ways of the fire world. And I didn't grow up with anybody I knew who was in the fire service. So, I forgot your question, sorry. One more time.
Oh, it's okay. Your chief had told me shortly after this happened that you did what firefighters do when you went into that building.
Yeah.
And you were brave. Now, as you go throughout your recovery and after everything that's happened, what does that mean to you now to be a firefighter?
You know, I'm proud, and you know, my son looks up to me, and I know how he looks at other firefighters, just like in awe, like, you know, superhero sort of thing. You know, what I did, I wouldn't say it was heroic or anything like that. It's our job, and it's what I signed up to do. And I think anybody in here wearing this uniform would have made the same decisions that me and Jack made that day.
Can you talk about some of the injuries that you suffered? Because we were told that you suffered 45 or burns over 45% of your body, but just kind of maybe the extent that it went to.
Yeah, so 45% of my body officially burned. Severity in areas kind of vary. My arms probably were the most affected, including my hands. So all 4 fingers on my left hand had to be amputated, as well as some of my thumb, and then pinky over here, and then my pointer finger. So I don't know, 1, 2.5, 3, you know, 4.5 fingers left. So yeah, really nothing mentally. I feel strong in the head. Everything else is just physical, and I've gotten over most of the hurdles, relearning how to walk and stuff like that. They're not preventing me from doing anything I want to do, so continuing PT and OT and stuff like that, just making strides forward.
And then going forward with Gresham Fire, where's that status at, and kind of the hope, for the future long term?
Dream world, or a pipe dream right now would be I continue firefighting with the city of Gresham. At what capacity, given my injuries, that may not be obtainable, but I would still love to be a part of this organization. And they've given me a career and stability, and I'm still bought into Gresham Fire.
Your wife shared the same sentiments?
I told him I support him in whatever he does. If he wants to go back to firefighting, if he wants to do something totally different. I knew what I signed up for when I married a firefighter.
If we could limit to one or two more questions, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up for the afternoon.
Just one more for me. The community support, obviously, I read a lot about that and how people rallied. You're very proud, obviously, what everyone at the stadium has done. What has that meant, and how can the community still support you during this battle that you're in right now?
Yeah, it's just so overwhelming. People you would have never expect to come out and congratulate you, or just build you up, like want to shake your hand or give you a hug. And my closest neighbors almost made me the most emotional, because they're practically strangers, but we just have that, I guess, bond, and this moment has, I think, secured and made a lot of the bonds that I've had with the community a lot stronger. And the continual support, I'm not asking for it, but it still comes. We are still getting letters in the mail, reaching out, hearing about the story, and just wanting to say, hey, we're thinking about you, and hopefully you recover, and God bless. So yeah, the continual support is, like I said, just overwhelming. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Of course,
you.
yeah.
Thank you so much. What do we do now?
Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for coming.